I hope I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing. I hadn't been to Popeyes in since last year, right? And all of a sudden I go there and there's this kiosk where you have to punch in your order. They won't even take your order. You have to do it all on the screen, and then you have to pay in advance. And you tap your card on this thing, right? Right underneath the card reader was this glowing green new thing. And I'm like, what is this for? And they're like, oh, I don't know, that's new. And I'm like, it looks like I'm supposed to scan a microchip in my hand with these. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, and you're okay with this? They're like, well, man, what are we going to do? I'm like, don't take that microchip. Don't take the mark of the beast. So guys, they are and even the ATMs have changed again. There's like this new thing on the ATM machine now where it's all ready to go. Like, they're going to be making us put biometric stuff or scan a chip in your hand or whatever, or forehead or something to scan these things. Or you're not going to be able to use your debit card, your credit card, nothing anymore. And it's going to happen overnight. And they're putting everything there. Also, the mass surveillance. For about 5 years now, I've noticed a couple things. And I even asked the police, and they said, yeah, you're right. If you look everywhere, just like China now, there's cameras all over every intersections, on the lights. They're inside your traffic light, your street lights. The street lights are different now. They just changed overnight from this yellowish color or white to this like weird bluish like neon. Not even a neon, like a, I don't know, what do you call it? Those ugly incandescent or iridescent. You know, like when you get those bulbs that last forever. It's not like a nice normal like soothing light like this. It's a white light. It's like a very, like you're in Walmart shopping type of light. That very unnatural light. And so basically it's all mass surveillance. It's all going to be tied in. So when you have that mark in you, everywhere you go, you're a walking cell tower, you're a walking cell phone. They know what you're thinking, what you're doing, your health, where you are at all times. That's the whole point. You know, keeping people under Big Brother watching your surveillance, where you are not even your own. You're owned by the governments, which are run by Satan and his elite. Hence the pyramid schemes on the back of your dollar bill. I've been talking about this stuff since I was in my teens and 20s. I knew this stuff, but people thought I was a conspiracy theorist or whatever. And then when I started looking into it, I found out I was right. So God must have given me supernatural understanding of these things, or just insight, intuition, common sense. I don't know. But then I started, looking into it, and sure enough, I was right. But it took until about recently where people are finally starting to understand, oh gosh, you guys are not tinfoil hat wearing, Bible banging conspiracy theorists. This is real. Welcome to the planet. We've only been down here living like this for a long time, trying to tell everybody else. But what they did is, most people are so caught up in that, have to pay the bills, have to pay taxes, got to pay the rent, got to try to enjoy my life, got to have this, got to have that, whatever, got to do this, you're just so busy on the hamster wheel that you don't have time to stop and think outside the box, or spend time with God so he can download supernaturally wisdom and understanding. And that's the point. The goal is to keep you so busy and so tired and so distracted, or at the very least so entertained, that you have no clue what's really going on. And they keep throwing a lot of smoke and mirrors and what I call red herrings into the mix, and so you don't know what's going on at one time. Which of the Illuminati card game are we going to be pulling this time? It's sick. It really is sick. The world we live in. No wonder people call it the Matrix or some kind of a program or whatever, because we're trapped down here. We are slaves to the almighty dollar, literally. That is our God. That's why it says, "In God we trust." I just got that now. That's got to be the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, because I've always known that it said, "In God we trust," and I always knew that it wasn't the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel, Moses, and Daniel, the God of the Bible that they're talking about. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a pyramid. That was a real long interference. They literally froze my video for over a minute, and then they put a thumbs up, because they know that I'm speaking the truth. See, I find it amazing how, I mean, you made me lose my train of thought there, but no, you know what? I know what I was going to say. I just got it now. It says in God we trust, but it's not the God of the Bible. It's Satan, but it goes more than that. Remember how Jesus said you cannot serve both God and mammon? Love of money, love of the world, mammon, money. Love of money is the root of all evil. They make you have to be dependent on money. That is your God. You're supposed to trust Jesus Christ, but you have to trust money down here. Because without it, you can't live. You can't buy, sell, trade, go to the doctors, buy food, have a roof over your head, a car. And then they keep taxing you on top of it to make sure that you have to make more money so you can pay for taxes on something that you already paid taxes on upon sale or purchase. And then you pay taxes against sales tax, okay, when you go to sell something, okay, and then you got to keep paying taxes on the same car that you already paid for every year, and then you got to pay taxes on your home and property tax on something you already bought, supposed to be yours, and then after you pay off your 30-year mortgage, it should be yours, but you still have to pay Uncle Sam taxes. So it's not yours. You're just renting space. Renting a car, renting a home and property, renting from Uncle Sam, from the government. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, guys, now they went and put... You probably didn't even hear any of that. They had the microphone on mute. Wow. They can even change the settings on my phone so that you didn't hear any of that. So let's rehash it all again. Wasting my time. They waste my time. So that nobody wants to watch these videos. They're not going to watch a muted video, and they're not going to watch it if it keeps freezing on them. So this is what they do. Which means I'm right. You know damn well I'm right, and I'm telling people stuff that you don't want the public to know. Because I get my information from God, and you don't want them to know the truth. So the truth is, we're all slaves to the almighty dollar, mammon, which is why Jesus said you cannot serve both God, him, you know, the real God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel, Moses, and Daniel, the God of the Bible, and mammon, money, the God of money, world. The love of money is the root of all evil. Okay? Greed, one of the 7 deadly sins, all right? They've got us on this hamster wheel where we're constantly dependent on money, which is why the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, which is supposed to represent God, but Satan hijacked it because he's the God of this world watching everything through surveillance, okay? It says in God we trust on the back of our dollar bill, but it's not the God of the Bible. It's the devil and his beast or mammon system, and money becomes your God, and they keep you so busy having to try to make the almighty dollar so that you can pay your bills, pay your taxes, you know, you don't have time for God, you don't have time to think, and then you want a relief from the slave system, so you use entertainment, so they keep you so entertained at the very least so that you end up in hell and you waste your life and you don't do what you were created to do. Basically, your governments, they're surveillancing us, okay? There's cameras everywhere on all the street lamps and at every intersection. Now, there's this Mark of the Beast system. It's on the ATM machines and on this, where I went to check out at Popeyes tonight, where you can scan your hand and all that stuff. Digital currency, digital ID, scan, all that stuff. So they're going to force it on us. One day soon, you're going to go use your card or your debit card or cash, and they're going to say, nope, sorry, you have to get this chip. Otherwise, you can't buy, sell, or trade, or own anything. That's why they're going to digital-only currency, and then they're going to make it so you have to have a chip or a tattoo or whatever they're going to do, the Mark of the Beast. Otherwise, you cannot exist in this world. And it's already been started hundreds of years ago. The wicked elite bankers came up with the slave system called taxation and the federal banks. That's why it's mocking God. Those dollar bills with the all-seeing eye and the pyramid, the Freemason Egyptian pyramid, and it says, in God we trust, it's because the God of this world is the devil, not the God. The real God of the universe is Jesus Christ, but the God of this world, the prince of the air, the God of this world is the devil. And mammon, money, okay, becomes your God when you're all about money, because you need money. So they keep you so busy having to work, so that you can pay your bills and pay your rent and pay taxes or whatever, just to live another day, to work again another day. It's a vicious cycle chasing your tail until you drop dead. And they laugh at us. That's why they don't let people become wealthy. Okay, did you ever wonder why you never get above middle class? And even if you're lucky and they're even making so middle class become poor, they want the elite to be the only ones with all the money and take everything from us, because money is power and freedom. Freedom gives you time to think outside the box and rise up against the machine. Okay? So they want to keep you so busy where your money is God. God is your money, not the real God. And they don't want you to be dependent on the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel, Moses, Jesus Christ. They want you to be dependent on Satan's system and money for your life, for your needs. That's all it is. And they keep you so busy with entertainment, with taxes, with inflation. Oh, let's have another war, jack the prices up on everything, so people have to work even more and panic, and they won't have time or energy to pray or serve God, which is their obligation and duty and reason they are created, the reason you were born. And they won't serve neighbor, because they're going to be very like, hey man, it's every man for themselves. Sorry, I don't have enough time for you. I got to work, or I got a family to take care of, or I don't have money to help you. I don't have enough for myself, or I'm not going to share my food with you. It's really expensive now. You know what I mean? And so you violate the first commandment, love God, and then you love your neighbor. Okay? Because of money. Because of this evil slave system that Satan has concocted, called the Federal Reserve, the banking system, taxation systems, inflation. Okay? You get a credit card and you have to pay like 30% APR, or what's the word for it? Oh my gosh, interest. Okay, it's all against God. God said not to charge interest on stuff, and so it's basically trapping us. And so everything is now come to today, where all they have to do is put it in us now, and it's they own you. You can't go anywhere without them knowing everything about you, where you are at all times, what you're thinking, your health, everything. You're a walking cell phone or cell phone tower. You're a prisoner. You might as well just be a cattle with your a tag on your ear. But they're already doing that to us with our cell phones and computers and the chips in everything. Every card and ID we have is a chip. It's in our that chip is in. Why do you think they have a chip inside of your passport? So they can track where you're going. They can find you with your passport, your license, your cards, your credit cards, your debit cards. Everything is a chip in your cell phone, your smart TV, your smart everything. The next thing to be chipped is us. And that's it. Yeah, and they also watch everything and listen to us through the microphones and the cameras on our phones and in our smart TVs and our everything. Have hidden cameras in everywhere. You're always being Big Brother watching you. Surveillance is for a long time now. And then social media was created to get you and I to just... They know everything about us. Our interests, our likes, our friends, our family, what we do for work, what our habits are, our dirty little secrets and sins. Everything is on there. And that brings me to another thing. Have you noticed a major rise and escalation over the past year alone of a lot of these stupid things on Facebook? You keep getting these posts or these, it comes up in your news feed. Different quizzes. Oh, for example, they'll show you a photo of a cloud, and you know that the cloud is shaped like an elephant, right? And they'll say, if you're right-brained or if you have a high IQ, you'll see a football. Everybody knows it's a stupid elephant. So then, as soon as you engage and you start saying no, it's this or it's that, or even better, Did you ever get these on your Facebook? I get them all the time. Help me, I'm trying to decide. And then they show you a photograph of a kitchen with 5 different floors to choose from. Which kind of floor should I choose? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Do you not realize that when you're answering these questions, you're giving them permission to locate you and who you are and look at your page, and also what you're interested in, how you think, whether you're cerebral or not, what you like, what colors, what patterns, whatever, what kind of car, what kind of cabinet you want in your kitchen, how you decorate. It tells a lot about a person. AI is trained for algorithms to pick up on all this and really study each one of us. They'll know everything about us. Why? Satan is not, he wants to be like God. He's not, Satan is not Jesus Christ. So he's not omnipotent, all omnipresent, okay, all-knowing, all-seeing. He can't look into the past, present, and future, or be in the past, present, and future all at one time simultaneously. He doesn't know the future. He can predict stuff based on behaviors and patterns, but he doesn't know the actual future. He tries to control things that will dictate the future, but he doesn't know the future like God knows. He doesn't know, he can't read minds the way God does. He can't read hearts the way God does. He can't do what God does. He can't be all-knowing and know everything about a person, all-seeing. So what does he do? He's got demons that watch us 24/7 and report back to him. Just like God has angels constantly watching and reporting everything that we do, good and bad, in the books in heaven for Judgment Day. The devil has his demons recording everything and getting back to him. What are our weaknesses? What are our temptations? What do we like? What do we not like? And that gives him a better strategy of attack to bring us to hell, to bring us into sin and temptation. Also, God doesn't need his angels to be able to know everything, hear everything, see everything, and be everywhere at one time. God can do that because he's God. The devil wants to be like God, but he needs help. So the only way he can know what's going on with almost every human being simultaneously and get all the dirt on us is AI. His demons watching us, but also and reporting back, but also AI. AI is technology that would give the devil, who can literally possess inanimate objects, like they can possess a dog, an Annabelle doll, a human being, whatever, pigs. They can also animate or possess an AI system. So you're talking to demons and getting information from demons, not the internet. Once we have bio half human, half android. Sorry, they froze my phone again. And there it goes. See, I know they're doing it purposely, because then you see a like float up, a little thumb goes up on my screen, because they're basically saying, we're watching you, we know where you are, we know who you are, we're listening to you, we're screwing up your life behind the scenes, kid. That's why you haven't been able to get jobs. That's why you haven't been able to get back into seminary. That's why they botched up your surgery and won't do the corrective surgery. That's why they're holding up your much needed disability settlement for 3 years now, when they know that you need and you are disabled and you have every right. And they keep asking for more MRIs and more doctor's appointments. For what? I have been crippled, technically disabled, since 25 years old from breaking my back in a boating accident. I've had multiple spinal surgeries. I've got rods and screws and everything. I've atrophied. My skin is all just loose and hanging out because I've lost so much muscle so fast. Okay? You know damn well I'm sick, but you won't give me the money because you don't want me to live to be able to preach another day, to serve the Lord. If I was some hellbound loser like the majority, then you wouldn't care. You'd give me whatever I want, because the devil takes care of his own. Jesus said the world will take care of its own. But because I'm in Christ and I'm trying to get to heaven, and I have a big mouth, you're basically, Satan and his system is doing everything to persecute me and make everything a curse, everything difficult, delay everything, delay blessings, prevent me to advance, making it very difficult for me to get the help I need, the dental work I need, the surgery I need, the medications I need, the jobs and income I need. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to give me a slow death, because pretty soon we're all going to be in the same boat as me. What I mean by that is pretty soon, if you don't take the mark of the beast, none of you will get medical care or dental care or food or housing or jobs or a cell phone or a license or anything. And what are they going to do with all these millions of people who reject the mark of the beast? What do you think? They opened up FEMA camps and have places like Walmarts that can be instantly turned into a detention center immediately. They're owned by all the billionaires who are going to do this. Did you notice that Walmart and other stores, I think Target now too, they are making it look very generic, like you go inside of a Costco. It's just literally pallets, or IKEA. It looks like pallets with just cold cement floors and very ugly, almost like you're in a basement or a garage, not a nice store. Or better yet, to get us used to being in prison cells and prison camps. Did you think that was aesthetic? Did you think that by taking our churches and making them ugly cement boxes, basically modern, getting rid of anything that is holy and sacred and beautiful, but just making it cold like a prison cell? Do you think that that's not all part of Satan's plan? It messes with your mind. It's getting you used to bare minimum, uncomfortable, cold, practically lifeless situations or living circumstances, frugality, prison, like a prison. Okay? It's basically showing you they don't need the facade anymore. They don't need beautiful architecture to hide the jail bars that you are living in. Pretty soon they're not going to hide the fact that we are all... You didn't abolish slavery. Once we abolished slavery, they instituted taxations and all the Federal Reserve and all that stuff to make us all slaves now. That's all it was. And they make you think that you're in a free country and that you're free. And yet, how are you free when you're forced to go to public schools? You're forced to obey all these laws that God didn't say you had to obey, but making you obey man instead of God, when God said don't obey man, obey God. You know, who are you going to obey, him or man? Don't worry about those who can kill the body but not the soul. Fear God, who can throw you both body and soul into hell. So they're taking our focus and our fidelity away from God and forcing it onto Satan and his system and onto man, onto the creation. Satan's created. He's not the creator. They're also trying to strip away all that is beautiful, beautiful churches, cathedrals, anything that represents God and beauty and holiness and makes you want to be a Christian. And they're just basically making everything so cold and generic and ugly, because Satan is ugly, evil is ugly, the world, in fallen world that is getting further and further away from God is more ugly. And they're not even hiding. Basically, they don't need to hide the fact that we're all prisoners in a prison planet at this point. They don't need to make it look nice anymore, because they've advanced so far now that there's nothing we can do about it anyway. So, you know, they're just going to be a big reveal, like, hey, you're all cattle, you're all sheep for the slaughter, you're all prisoners. Did you ever wonder why you don't own anything? You're always just renting. Okay? That's why we have to tax you on everything and charge interest rates and sales tax and just tax to keep you working your butt off, so you can never enjoy your life, so you can never seek God, so you can never get to know him, so you can never think for yourself outside the box, so you can never rest, keep you tired, keep you sick, so that you're too weak to think and fight or seek God or to obey God or escape or put up a fight or do anything. Okay? So pretty much we're all just in a big prison cell, but the door's wide open for now. Now, the 2030 agenda is to finally close that door where we are all trapped. Not only 15-minute cities, smart cities, all that stuff, but biometric chips or mark of the beast or whatever it's going to be. And so that's it. You're tagged, you're chipped, whatever. But, you know, that's the final frontier. But, you know, when you're born, why do you think they give you a social security number? Did you know, why do you think you have to have a marriage certificate? You can't just get married in church, but you have to, in order for it to be legit in the eyes of the government, legal, it's got to be approved by the government, and it's got to be registered with the government. Do you know that when slave owners, had bought and purchased slaves, they were marked, they were branded, they had papers, and also if a slave wanted to get married to another slave, they had to get the master's permission, and it was a legal transaction, and the master owned your offspring. So your kids were not your own. The parents and the children are slaves. So they were bred like animals, like livestock. Oh, good. You want to get married and have kids? Not a problem. We need more slaves. Now I don't got to buy any more slaves. They're already being born and raised here on the plantation. So they'll be raised properly to be good hard workers now. Yeah, you all keep breeding. You keep breeding for us. Save us money. And then if we ever need more money, we could just sell your children. And the younger and healthier they are, the more money I can get for them. So yeah, you have babies. You get married. You, Harriet, and whatever your name is, you guys get married, and then I'll sell your children. That's what they did. Well, now, and they branded the kids too, immediately property of this particular slave owner. All right? So, and this went on for generations. Well, guess what? You and I, soon as they start vaccinating us. As soon as you're born, they start giving you serial numbers or social security numbers. You have your whole life. You have to have your birth certificate, your social security number. That is showing you that you are property of the government. Then, if you want to go abroad, you have to have things like passports with chips in them now, and have permission, right? Because you're not really free to just leave the plantation without any kind of permission or surveillance, right? And then if you want to leave the country and go and become nationalized in another country, well, basically that country is going to own you. And so you're just swapping slaves. Like, okay, you people come over here, we'll let our people go over there. We own all the governments, we own all the countries anyway, so what if this slave wants to go to that plantation, whatever, but they're still going to pay taxes and follow the laws of those countries, and they're still going to have licenses and social security numbers and all this. No matter what you do, where you go, there's nowhere you can go on this planet that you're free.